find it soothing to hear man speak to God. That's why I listen to Tupac and Nas while driving fast cars or laying in my cell at night. I listen carefully, I hear their plight, I hear their strife, I hear their life. I love music, our communication, my salvation. It's not just me that battles this good and bad in me. A killer with dreams, a shooter with fiends, jack in their veins. There's no beanstalks here, just murder and war. You wanna join the army, what for? There's gangs outside, not eager to recruit, but eager to shoot. Don't be a target, run and leave it, but I feel like I'm a part of it. Like that's my scene and that's my home. Like there's the food and there's the chrome. Protect it with your life and own the throne. But there's no castle, just a judge and jury to laugh at you and give you your time to serve. Mothers cry but can't find the words. Sons raised on the curb. We got our own rules out here. We don't practice what we preach like a bush from Blair. So hypocritical, or maybe cause we left what was oh so natural. Each one teach one, but I'm a bad example. Each one teach one, I could've done better. I could've done better.
What I've been doing for the last 2 years is travelling around and sharing my story. My story is of someone at the age of, I don't know, teenage years, got into crime and wanted to be involved in crime, and wanted to be selling drugs, and wanted to be on the road, and wanted to be involved in certain things. And that road led me to prison. I done a 10-year prison sentence. So I came out of prison only 2 years ago.
And I can feel my heart beating in my chest. And the judge says to the juror, how do you find the defendant?
Guilty, yeah.
And I never heard my mother cry out in pain.
Mother, don't cry,
until I heard the juror
say guilty.
Guilty.
A friend of mine's guy not guilty. A couple of other guys had already gone guilty. So we're in the courtroom. And the friend to my right, he gets found not guilty, and I'm happy for him. I'm glad that he's not guilty, and I'm hoping that I'm not guilty and I can go home as well. And the judge says no, or the jury says no, you're guilty as well. And that day they carted me off to Wandsworth Prison, and I went into Wandsworth Prison. And Wandsworth Prison's a funny place. You've got a lot of funny characters, but I was emotionally drained.
What is it, officer? What, did you just search man this week? This is some joking, man. As a man, I'll never get used to being asked to strip. Asked to lower my boxers to my knees and shake them. As a man, I'll never get used to being woken up abruptly, led down to the testing suite and ordered to pee in a cup. As a man, I'll never get used to having my freedom taken away.
So Chris, could you talk a bit about what life was like in prison to the young people? Because I'm not saying these young people here, but young people that go to prison or their brethren then go to prison think that prison's an easy ride. So if you could share a bit of those experiences with them.
Okay, I think the best way I can break down prison is through them poems. So one of the first things about prison is your detachment from your family. So if you have got people that you care about, people that you love, that hurts to not be around them. It hurts when they come and visit you and they sit and talk with you for an hour and then they go and you go back into your prison cell. That kind of affects you in a way. Being locked in a room for 23 hours a day where you've got a toilet and you've got a cellmate, and when they go toilet there's no barrier, so they're literally going to toilet next to you, and then you bring your food back into that cell. It's a very degrading experience that you have no control over. You have officers that can tell you to do what they want, when they want, tell you to strip when they want you to strip, just random things like that. You can be around some negative people, and it depends on how you do your sentence. Because I've done my sentence on a thing like keeping my head down, keep it to myself, I never had no problem, but there are people in prison that do get victimised, that do get bullied, that do have a hard time with it. There's people that can't take being in the cell for that period of time and cut themselves. I know people that was in for, I don't know, a 3-month sentence and bloodied up their cell because they just couldn't take it. They're screaming at night, people in their cell screaming at night, and random fights, rubbish food. Physically you can manage, for me you can physically manage, but it's just what you're missing. Your life is on pause. So everyone else is getting on with their life, everyone else is having a birthday party and growing, maturing. You're on standstill. Your life is on pause. Nothing changes other than that same cell day in, day out, day in, day out. So your life is on pause. So my life was on pause for 5 years, and I couldn't really proceed other than a little bit of education that I was able to do inside. So for 5 years, I didn't have a birthday. For 5 years, I didn't have a Christmas. For 5 years, the only good thing about the new year was I was 1 year closer to coming home. And every Christmas I would phone home, and I'd probably phone my grandma's, because that's where everyone would be. Well, my uncles would be there, my nephews would be there, my cousins would be there, and they would be laying out food, and they would be opening up presents under the Christmas tree, and I would hear it, and I would try and be involved in it somehow, but I wasn't involved in it. I was apart from it. In air, man, them don't get no birthdays in air. Man, them don't get no Christmas in air. Man, them don't get no New Year's in air. In air, in air, in air, in air. Man, them don't get no birthdays in air. Man, them don't get no Christmas in air. Man, them don't get no New Year's in air. In air, in air, in air, in air. Drama's a daily occurrence. Man threaten man to send man to their parents, like they know addresses and postal codes. That beats personal, that beats from road. Oh, that's some kitty argument, don't bring it to me. HMP would be the last place you see, believe me. In air, someone can run it and shook. Maybe they're scared of the hot oil, scared of the juke. Cause in there, man, them don't get no birthdays in there. Man, them don't get no Christmas in there. Man, them don't get no New Year's in there. In there, in there, man, them don't get no birthdays in there. Man, them don't get no Christmas in there. Man, them don't get no New Year's in there. In there, in there.
Calls are like £1 a minute, so you sneak attack no one to visit or pay a price is ridiculous. But it's worth the post sex with your missus. When you're handling your biz, you better watch for the snitches.
Yeah.
Wifey picture stay by my head.
In there.
I pray the Lord don't let my people dead.
In air.
I think about all my mistakes. In air, in air, in air, in air, in air. Man, them don't get no birthdays in air. Man, them don't get no Christmas in air. Man, them don't get no New Year's in air. In air, in air, in air, in air. Man, them don't get no birthdays in air. Man, them don't get no Christmas in air. Man, them don't get no New Year's in air. In air, in air, in air, in air.
How did it go wrong? I mean, when I asked you earlier if you ever thought you ended up in prison, did you think you were too smart, or was it just not on the radar? I mean, how, you know,
A little bit of too smart, a little bit of it will never happen to me, and a little bit of I don't care, I'm just doing whatever I need to do, and it became a belief necessity, like I needed to do this to survive it. And once you believe that, once you absorb that into your subconscious, you will do whatever it takes to fulfill that. So if you believe, I cannot be successful, I cannot have a good job, I cannot feed myself and my family without committing crime, once you accept that as your belief system, then you will be very vulnerable to that side of life and to that way of living.
How old were you when it opened?
I around 15, 16, I did have a couple of jobs and became disillusioned with work for some reason. So around 16 to into my 20s, I was really involved and started to make contacts in that type of line.
So it was peer pressure, was it as well? Or?
It was more what I wanted to be a part of and what I chose for myself. I made a conscious decision that that's what I wanted for myself and that's the person I wanted to be.
Like the big man.
And didn't really know any better and didn't really think any better until I had some realizations. So the courtroom was a real realization for me. The sentence, which was a 10-year prison sentence, was a real realization for me. And when I started to look at life as it should be and appreciate life as you should do, the things that I was obsessed with.
So that's a long time, 10 years?
10 years, yeah, it was a long time. So I spent 5 years behind the door. From 2004 to 2009. I mean, as a young person, you've got to think about your guardians, your carers, how it will affect them. As an individual, you've got to think about your own experience. So you will miss these things. You will be strip searched whenever they decide. You will miss out on things. So I try and give as rounded view through the poems as I can, so you can go through different angles. Dedicated to Elaine, my mum. Motherland Africa, the centre of my earth. You gave me birth, eagerly awaited my first words. Taught me from the nurse, how did it come to this? The system's got me now, I reminisce on days when I was a little younger. I never starved but still had that hunger to be amongst the highly paid. Even if it took me to my grave, I wouldn't change my ways. Slowly watched my youth fade away. Incarcerated up until today. It won't be forever. Every time I call, she'll feel better. Sharing fate with my brother. Told my sister I love her. How she must wonder how her brothers are so grind down and crying down and forced to take a little time out.
You have been my best friend.
My solid rock.
Through thick and thin. Although you raised me right, still I chose a life of sin. I'm so sorry that I failed you.
I'm sorry.
For wrong things I found pleasure.
I'm sorry.
Help me out when the jury locked me down.
And the friend to my right, he gets found not guilty, and I'm happy for him. I'm glad that he's not guilty, and I'm hoping that I'm not guilty and I can go home as well. And the judge says no, or the jury says no, you're guilty as well. What I know that night is that my mum didn't sleep. I've got a twin sister, she didn't sleep. A lot of family members, a lot of friends didn't sleep. And they was thinking, what's happening to my son? What's happening to my brother? Is he alright? Is he gonna make it? What's happening to him? But I slept like a baby. And these people were crying themselves to sleep over me.
Everything for a reason. 16 more seasons. Balance some good with the bad and make it even. Everything for a reason. 16 more seasons. Balance some good with the bad and make it even. Mother, keep loving your son, I'm doing well. You always knew I would make it, I could tell. You look me in my eyes, ask me what I'm doing now. You heard about the most foul, but I'm still your child. Been through it, I wanna enjoy my journey. Communicate my mind through voice delivery. The enraged caged lion still resides in me. Seems I've got nowhere to go. Every tear you cry, it burns me deep inside. Every tear, and I cannot deny, burns inside. I carry a broken soul and where my heart resides. I carry that with me. It's burdened with apologies. I'm sorry.
As God is my witness, I've never heard my mother cry out in pain. I've never heard the woman who raised me, looked after me, loved me, cry out in pain. And it was as if I had died. It was as if something catastrophic had happened. And it was at that moment that I realized that my actions have consequences. It was at that moment that I realized that even if I didn't love myself, there was someone else that loved me.
How was your family and everything? Were they supportive or were they quite angry?
Very disappointed, very upset.
but very supportive, which is why I'm here today. They did support me very well. Stand by me, visit me, make sure I had money if I needed money, make sure I had visits, encourage me. And I told them I wanted to work with young people, I told them what I wanted to do with my life. They encouraged me, make sure I had the right books, make sure whatever I needed, I had. So that's a great reason why I'm here doing what I do now, because I had support. So they were very, very important in my journey, definitely.
Hello? Oh, what's good, man? Did I hear what? What?
Dedicated to my brother Bouncer. Trying to find the words. To put on paper. I'm trying to find the thoughts.
To put on paper, but I never cried when Bouncer died. I was too shocked. I never cried when Bouncer died, but I believed it to be true. And when I cried for selfish reasons. I cried cause I pictured me and you in the club. I cried cause I pictured your face smiling at mine. I cried cause I pictured your fist nudging mine.
When I first cried,
I cried for selfish reasons. Then I cried for your mum.
then I cried for your sister. Then I cried for your children. I cried for your children. I never cried when Bouncer died. I was too shocked, cause I was too shocked. I never cried when Bouncer died, but I believed it to be true. I believed it to be true. I never cried when Bouncer died. I was too shocked, cause I was too shocked. I never cried when Bouncer died, but I believed it to be true. I don't cry for the dead, I cry cause I know I'm gonna miss them instead. My boy's just gone, nah, my boy just went to see the maker, my boy's life just spent chasing the paper. But what does it matter now, he's chilling with the Savior. Listen, I got unbreakable faith. There's no one that can tell me that my God's not great. And there's not a better place after air. See his face in my mind and it disappears. I picture a beach with a perfect blue sky, people hugging one another, so why would I cry? I feel sorry for them, I feel sorry for myself, but I still miss you and on my knees and knelt. I asked the Lord to watch over your spirit, and you left some children heirs, so for them I really feel it. But don't watch nothing, got my word. I'ma watch over them when I get back to the curb. Don't watch nothing, you got my word. I'ma watch over them when I get back to the curb. Yeah, I never cried when bound.